The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and warm welcome to every one of you. Hope you're all doing fine. First of all, many thanks for joining us on our workshop. I thank you so much for spending your time in registering and your active participation here. We, the AD Solutions team, hope to make sure that this session is going to be valuable and you will gain something out of it. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anu and I am a product architect at ADManager Plus and I am your presenter for the day. I hope my voice is audible and the screen is well and clear. If not, kindly let me know through the chat. So today's workshop is all about user provisioning techniques. The topic is advanced identity and access provisioning using smart templates and CSV. You can ask me what's the big deal in user provisioning since you do it all the day. Let me tell you what. So you as an administrator may have to configure user accounts, sometimes in bulk, say 10 or 20 user accounts, and then you have to delegate certain permissions to them. Manually configuring these user accounts and delegating their permissions can be time consuming and error prone, especially when it is done in a large and a complex network. So I'm going to explain the ways with which you can have minimal amount of time spent in provisioning user accounts using ADManager Plus. And also, I'm going to tell you the ways with which you can cut out the complexity involved in creating the user accounts. Say for example, you have to create user account in a hybrid environment where you will have to provision user accounts related to your Exchange or Link, say Skype for Businesses or Office 365. So I'm going to tell you how you can perform all these tasks very easily using ADManager Plus. Let me quickly share with you the agenda for the day. By the end of this session, you will get to know on how you can create Active Directory user accounts in bulk using a CSV file with the minimal information and also to put them in a specific organizational unit with desired group membership. And the next thing is, let me say you have to configure a specific attribute mandatory for your organization without having to extend the AD schema. So how can I perform such tasks using ADManager Plus? And the next thing is, you can detect and handle forest-wide duplicates while provisioning user accounts. So say for example, you are going to create some 100 user accounts and the main thing involved while creating user account is that you have to avoid duplicates. Either you don't create the user account or you just add a suffix to the user account. So I will be telling you how you can perform all these tasks with ADManager Plus. And the next thing is, now say for example, your organization merges with another organization or you want to standardize the naming format for all the user accounts across your organization and the format say first name dot last name at domain.com or first name dot initial, the first letter of the last name at domain.com. So you can customize the naming format for all the user accounts in your organization. And the core concept for today is going to be this. So how can I provision 360-degree provisioning of Active Directory, Exchange, Office 365 accounts from a single window? So I'll be telling you how you can perform that easily today. And also say for example, you have some custom attributes like the type of the employee or if you are an educational institution, then you may have student ID or the group code or something like that. So how can I populate such custom attributes for my user accounts? Okay, so we will be seeing all these topics in today's session. So now without any further delay, let me take you to the application. If you have ADManager Plus configured at your end, you can very well make use of it or not. You don't have to worry about it. I will be sharing you the URL for the test lab that we have set up and hosted online. So kindly look at your chat window. I will be sharing the URL for accessing our test lab. To log into this application, type the username as ADMP and the password as workshop with W in uppercase, and kindly make sure that you log in using ADManager plus authentication. I'm going to log on using local authentication, not the domain authentication. So kindly log on using ADManager plus authentication. So in order to have an hands-on experience, I would recommend you to perform the task that I will be explaining you in this workshop with me. So if you have any queries while you perform all these tasks, you can feel free to contact me through the chat window. You can put your questions over there and I'll be answering to you as soon as possible. Okay. So I hope you all have logged into the application. Let me log in as well. So kindly log in using ADManager plus authentication. So once you log into the application, you can see the product dashboard. Okay, so this is like an overview of your domain, of your environment. So this will give you basic reports like number of users, inactive users, and all that. Okay, so as you can see here, this application has so many options to make your task related to Active Directory administration more easier. The first tab, ADMGMT, this stands for AD management. So you can perform all the management related operations here, like creating the user account or modifying the objects or deleting your objects. So you can perform these operations, creation, modification or deletion, not only for user objects but for computers, groups, contacts and organizational units. So you can have plenty of options over here under AD Management tab. And with AD Reports tab, this feature provides an insight into the Active Directory and helps you to get the detailed information about the objects in the domain. Say for example, you want to get all the user accounts in a particular OU, or you want to get all the users who are working under a particular manager. So you can get all such customized reports under AD Reports tab. Now say for example, you want to delegate certain permission to your technicians, to your IT administrators, to your network administrators. Now say for example, you want to delegate reset password permission for a particular IT user account and then restrict them by creating user accounts. So all such operations can be done under AD delegation. Okay, and with workflow, this helps you to set a standardized structure for your organization's everyday task in the form of request, and it follows a request approval and execution pattern. Now say for example, you can configure your HR people as a requester and they can raise a request to create a user account. And then you as an administrator can execute that particular request if it is valid, or you can simply reject it if it is invalid. So this feature is supported under Workflow tab. And you have something called automation. This will help you to perform repetitive or monotonous Active Directory tasks that are crucial to your organization's functioning. Say for example, cleaning up of Active Directory or creating user accounts. So they follow sequence of tasks and then you can configure them with automation and they can be performed at a specified time at a specified interval. Having said that, today's focus will be on user provisioning that comes under AD Management tab. Okay, so as a first step, let me tell you how you can create a single user account with the help of ADManager Plus. So now I'm going to create a sample user account with name attribute and password. I'm not going to provide any other attribute for my user account. Let me tell you how you can create a sample user account. Okay, go to AD Management tab, and then click User Management, and then click create single user. So now I'm going to create a single user account. So let me name this user account as Mike and the last name as Ross. Okay. So now you can see that the logon name, the pre-Windows logon name, full name, email attributes are auto-populated. I will be explaining you how these things are automatically populated in this session. But before that, let me complete this process of creating user account. Let me go to Account tab where I'm going to type in the password for my user account. There are 4 ways in which you can set a password for user account using ADManager Plus. So the first thing is this application lets you creates a random password, so that will be based on the password complexity you configure in ADManager Plus. Okay, and the next thing is the typical way wherein you can type the password for your user account. And the next thing is you can set the password same as user logon name, or you can simply leave the password blank. But I wouldn't recommend you to leave the password blank because it will make your user account more vulnerable. Okay, so now I'm going to type in the password for my user account. Whenever you type in the password, please make sure it meets the password complexity configured in your domain. Okay, so now I'm going to hit create button. Now say for example you want to set any other attribute for your user account related to account or contact. Now say since I have typed the password, so I would know the password for this user account. So what you can do is you can make this user account change his password at his next logon. Or you can even decide that this password never expires. Or if you think you're going to disable this account, you can select this checkbox, account is disabled. And in a similar way, you can provide logon script, profile path, home folder, or say for example, you are hiring a contract employee for your organization. So when I create this user account, I'm going to set the account expiry date for this user account. So this is a contract employee and this account will expire in the next month, say at March 1. So you can set the account expiry date. And if you want to set any logon restriction, say for example, this particular user account is capable of logging into a particular system. And you can provide that workstation name over here, or you can even decide to let this user account log into all computers. Or now say if you want to set the logon hour restriction, then you can simply choose the hours in which this user account will be able to log in. The green ones say that the allowed hours in which this user account can log into the computer, and the gray ones are the or the hours in which this user account does not have permission to log into his computer. Okay. And if you want to set any contact related attributes like their address or home phone, mobile phone, or if you want to set the manager attribute, or if you want to set the title and department, you can set all these attributes under contact tab. Okay, so the main thing will be this. Now say for example, if you want to set any exchange related attributes, then you can go to exchange tab and click mailbox enabled user, and you can set the attributes whatever you want over here. So I'll be explaining these things later in today's session, but before that let me create this user account. I have just typed the name and the password for this user account. Let me hit create. Okay, I'm not going to set mailbox for this user account. So now you can see that this user account is being created in your Active Directory. Now you can see that this user account is successfully created. So creating a single user account is so simple, isn't it? But just imagine This is for just one single user account. If you have to create user account for say 10 or 20 users, so do I have to repeat the same process for every user account? No, that looks tiresome. In the native Active Directory way, how do I create bulk user accounts? So you need a CSV file and a PowerShell script if you are creating using native Active Directory way, wherein you will provide the information of the user account in a CSV file, and then you code some lines wherein you specify like the department or the password options, the user principal name, and everything. Now just imagine you are going to set exchange related attributes for your user accounts. Then you have to add few more lines of code over here in order to set the mailbox server, the mailbox database, or the size restriction and all that. So this looks complex, and if you are doing it for in a hybrid environment, you may get into some errors. So fixing that would be difficult if you miss some quotations or some semicolons and all that. So how do I create user accounts without having to write any line of code? With ADManager Plus, there are two things required in order to create user accounts in bulk. The first thing would be a CSV file, which many of you would be familiar with. Let me show a sample CSV file. So I have already created a sample CSV file. So I would recommend you to create a CSV file. Just open your notepad and then type given name, comma sn, comma password, and then enter your user account details. So I have given two sample username, Monica Tyler and James Hill. So you may be wondering what this given name and SN are. Okay, so if you are familiar with LDAP name of the attributes, so you would know what given name and SN are. So if you're new to this, let me tell you what these things are. So given name is nothing but the LDAP name for the attribute first name, and SN is the LDAP name for the attribute last name. Okay, so type given name, comma SN, comma password, and then the details of the user account, and then save this file with the extension .csv. So how do I get the LDAP name for other attributes like telephone number, mobile phone, email address, and all that? You don't have to worry about it. ADManager Plus has all that in it for you. Go to ADManager Plus. On the top right, you can see a help link. Just click this link. So this is where you can find all the references that you need to perform any operations with ADManager Plus. So now I'm going to check the LDAP name that I can give in my CSV file. Click CSV import, then click create users using CSV. In the right side you can see a list of LDAP attributes supported. Just click this link. So there you can find the LDAP name for all the basic attributes. So given name is the LDAP name for first name, SN is the LDAP name for last name, and similarly if you want to provide logon name, you need to give user principal name. For pre-Windows 2000 logon name, you need to provide SAM account name, and you can find all the LDAP name for the attributes for your user accounts in this page. Okay, so I hope you have created a CSV file. Just open your notepad and then type given name, comma SN, comma password, and then enter the details of your user account. Now say for example, if you want to provide details for n number of user accounts, just provide the details one line after the other. Okay, and then save this file with the extension .csv. The second thing that is required in order to create user account in bulk using ADManager Plus is templates. Let me go to the application. Let me click AD Management tab. So under user management, you can find user creation templates. So what is a template? So This creating a template is going to be a one-time process. So template is where you can specify the common attributes for your user account. Now say for example, you are going to create user account for your finance department. So what I can do is instead providing the LDAP attribute finance over here every time for every user account in every line, I can create a template and then specify the department as finance and then save this template. Okay, so let me show you an use case. So now I'm going to create a template with a specific organization unit and with desired group membership. Okay, let me click create new template. So I'm going to create template for my sales department. So let me name my template as sales department. So now I'm going to choose the container. So in this template, you can see the fields that you saw just now in creating a single user account. So once you create this template, now say for example, you're going to create a user account for your sales department today. And next week, you're going to create another user for same sales department. So instead providing the container name, the group membership, the manager, the department attribute every time, you can just put all these attributes in this template, which is going to be a one-time process. And then later on, whenever you want to create user account for your sales department, you can use this template again. Okay, so now I'm going to choose container for my sales department. Just go to select container field and then click this pencil icon. So this will list all the organizational units and container present in your environment. Either you can choose the organizational unit from here. Now I'm going to create it for sales. Let me choose sales Middle East OU. Or if you want to create a new OU, just click this link, create new OU. You can enter the name, say sales UK, and hit create. Okay, so now you can choose your organizational unit. I have created sales UK organizational unit. Now I'm going to hit OK. And also I'm going to provide the group membership. In order to provide group membership, go to Account tab. There you can see the attribute member of. Just click this pencil icon. This will list all the groups present in your domain. Say I'm going to create it for sales UK, so that is going to be my group. Or say if you want to put this user account under administrators or any other group that you wish to, you can select the group over here and then add it and then hit OK. So for the first task, I have created a template with specific OU and with specific group membership. And now I'm going to save this template. Let me hit Save Template. Okay, so now you can see this particular template in the list of templates present in your ADManager Plus. So mine is Sales Department. So now let me show you how you can create user accounts in bulk. Go to AD Management tab, click User Management, and then click Create Bulk Users. So now I'm going to import my CSV file. Click Import button and then choose your file. And then hit Open and hit OK. So now the CSV file is being imported and validated. So this is again, rather than reacting to the error for your CSV file, so AD Manager Plus validates your CSV file. It validates whether all the LDAP name are correct and all the values are given for every attribute. Okay, so now I can see that my CSV file is successfully imported. So like I said, I have just given the given name, the first name and the last name like I did in creating a single user account. But you can see the user principal name, logon name and the SAM account name, logon name for pre-Windows. So these things are automatically populated. So you may be wondering how these things are populated. This is because of the template that we have given. So by default in the system template, it will be first name plus last name at domain.com. And now I'm going to change the template. So now you can see the basic attributes over here, given name, last name, logon name, the mail attribute and the password. Now I'm going to change to my template sales department. So now you can see that the member of attribute is automatically populated. So the sales, domain admins, users, so these were the groups that I have specified in my template. So now this process makes it simpler to create user account for a specific department. So you can create templates for your finance department, for your HR department, and so on. And the next process is to choose the container. Just hit the next button. So now you can choose the container. So in my template, I have selected Sales UK and that container is automatically selected here. If you want to change, you can change the container over here or else you can just hit create users. So for n number of users, for 10 or 20, for 100 number of users, for creating such 100 number of users, these are the 3 steps. So this is going to be the same. You just import the CSV file and then choose your container and then create the user account. So these are the 3 steps for creating n number of user accounts. Okay, so let me move to the next task for today. Now say, how can I make a specific attribute mandatory for my organization? So in the native Active Directory way, if you want to make a attribute mandatory, by default you have SAM account name as mandatory and few more attributes mandatory. And now you have employee ID as an attribute in your organization. Or if you are an educational institution, you may have student ID or teacher ID as an attribute in your Active Directory. Now you want to make this attribute mandatory without having to extend your AD schema. So how do I perform that? Okay, let me go to AD Management tab and let me click User Management and then click User Creation Templates. I'm going to edit my template, which is Sales Department. So now what am I going to do is I'm going to make this employee ID a mandatory attribute. Okay. In order to do that, you just have to click Enable Drag and Drop and then move the mouse over to your field, the attribute that you want to make mandatory, and then click Edit. Okay, so now you can either made it mandatory or there are some attributes that you do not want your technicians to modify when creating the user accounts. So such attributes can be changed to read only or you can just give it none. So now I'm going to make it mandatory. So with help card say unique ID for every employee. Okay, let me hit done. So now you can see the red star mark near your field. So this signifies that employee ID is a mandatory attribute. Okay, let me hit save template. And now Let me go back and check the the process of creating the user account. Let me go to AD Management tab, click Create Bulk Users, choose my template, and now I'm going to import my CSV file and hit OK. So now you can see the error message over here in the validation status, which states that employee ID is a mandatory. You can't leave it empty. So this helps you in avoiding the error of not specifying the employee ID. So in the native Active Directory way, if you do not specify employee ID as mandatory in your AD schema, you may be pushed into a situation where the user account may not have employee ID value. But if you have specified the mandatory attributes in your template, so if at all you happen to leave that particular mandatory attribute by mistake, then you will be thrown error before creating the user accounts. So this helps you act before creating the user account. So you can just go ahead and then change the value for your in your CSV file. You can just specify the employee ID 123 12345 and save this CSV file, and then you can import it again. Now here comes another problem. So now I'm creating say 10 user accounts or 20 user accounts. So I would be entering my employee ID over here, which may clash with another employee. Say there is another employee in your organization with the employee ID 1234. So how do I avoid such situations? Either I should not create the user account, or I should change the value for my particular attribute. Now say for example, you have another user with Monica as the display name. Now I need to change the display name for this user account, Monica Taylor, to say Monica 1 Taylor, or I do not have to create this user account. So how do I perform such task? Okay, let me go to AD Management tab and let me click User Creation Templates. And now I'm going to edit my template, which is Sales Department, and click Enable Drag and Drop. Now say for example, I do not want two of my employee to have same display name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this display name. I'm going to prevent duplication. You can prevent the duplication either at the domain level or at the forest level as per your requirement. So in this ADManager Plus, there is only one domain configured, and hence you can see the option to check for duplicates only in one domain. If you have multiple domains configured, then you will have the option to check for the duplicates at forest level as well. So now I'm going to check for duplicates at domain level. So if at all it encounters any duplication, you can either apply the naming format, which will be like same as the logon name, or you can change the naming format to last name dot first name, or you can automatically append a number to the display name, or you do not create the user account at all. Okay, so I'm going to just select apply this naming format and hit done. So what this option will do is, if in the process of creating the user account, if ADManager Plus finds another user account with the same display name, then it will change the display name of this user account to the naming format that I have specified here, last name dot first name. Okay. So the next thing is, how do I standardize the naming format for all the user account across my organization? Now say for example, your organization merges with another organization and they follow a different naming pattern and you may follow a different naming pattern. So in order to organize such things, what you can do is you can simply specify the naming format for your organization in this template. So either you can make it first name plus last name, or you can choose from some of the default options provided in ADManager Plus, like last name dot first name or first name dot middle name dot last name. Or you can even create your own naming format. So you can see the option here, create your own naming format. Let me click this link. This will take me to the admin tab where I can specify the naming format for my organization. This can be a quick deviation from our task for creating user account, but this is a really useful tip. Now say for example, the display name for your user account in finance department should start with finance plus first name. So how do I create such naming format? Okay, just click add new format. So this format is for my sales. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify the name, the display name as first name hyphen or say underscore finance. Okay, let me hit save. So this is how my naming format will work. Say for example, the first name of my user, like in here, it is Monica. So I can set the display name for my user account as first name underscore finance. Okay. Let me go to AD Management tab. Let me edit my template. Go to User Management and then click User Creation Templates. Now I'm going to edit my template. Sales Department. And now I'm going to change the naming format for my display name. Okay, move the mouse over to display name and then choose edit. I'm going to choose the format as sales. So as you can see here, if the first name is John, so the display name will be changed to John underscore finance. So in this similar way, you can configure any naming format that you want. Okay, so I'm going to check for duplicates as well at domain level, and if I find to have the duplicate for my display name, then I'm going to change it to last name plus first name. Okay, let me hit done, and now I'm going to save my template. Now let me go to AD Management tab, click User Management and then click Create Bulk Users. I'm going to change my template and I'm going to import my CSV file. So now we can see that the display name has been changed to first name underscore finance. Okay, and also we have provided the steps to find out whether the mandatory attributes have been entered or not. Okay, now say for example, if you want to provide any default value for your templates. Now say for example, I have created this template sales department for my department sales, and I'm going to set the default value for the department as sales. Let me edit my template by clicking ADManagement tab, User Management, and then User Creation Templates. My template is Sales Department. Let me go to Contact tab, and then let me choose the department, Sales. And if you want to set the manager, so for sales department, you will have a particular person as manager. So you can set that value as well as a default value for your user account. Just click this pencil icon. This will list all the user account present in your domain. Now let's say I'm going to choose the user account ADManager and then hit OK. So ADManager will be the manager for my user accounts. So in this way, you can set the default value for your user account using the templates in ADManager Plus. Now I'm going to hit Save Template. Okay, let me move to the next topic for today. So how do I provision AD, Exchange, and Office 365 accounts from a single window? Okay, so what you have to do is, so I'm going to edit my template. So all the process you can perform in your template, which is going to be a one-time step, and then you can use it every time. I'm going to click Sales Department. The first thing is you need to provide Active Directory related attributes that I've given already. I've given the container name, and if you want to set password, you can do that as well. Instead providing the password over here in your CSV file, I can even remove the password from here. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set random password as the default option. So when I set a random password as a default option, ADManager Plus generates a random password based on the complexity that you give in ADManager Plus. Let me configure the password complexity. Just click this link, configure password complexity, and click OK. And again, this is going to be a quick deviation from the process of creating the user accounts. So here you can specify the minimum length, the maximum length for the password, and also you can set some rules for your password, like your password should include these many number of special characters or these many number of numerals, say 2, or it should be in lowercase or uppercase or mixed case. And if you want to exclude certain characters like L, O, I, 0, so you can specify all such characters over here. You can also configure whether it should start with alphabet or it should be a dictionary word. Okay, let me hit save. So this is going to be a sample password. So like this, ADManager Plus generate passwords for your user account based on the complexity you have given here. Okay, let me go back to AD Management tab and then edit my template under User Creation Templates. My template is Sales Department. So now I'm going to, so as I said, I have given the Active Directory related attributes like container, password. So I'm going to make random password as default. I have also given the membership details, and I have given the department and manager details. Now I'm going to provide exchange related details for my user account. Just go to Exchange tab. I'm going to create mailbox enable user. You can choose the exchange server either to be automatic or any particular exchange server. You can choose the mailbox database, and also you can specify the email alias, like same as logon name. The first name is John, the second last name is Smith, then the email alias will be John Smith. Or if you want to set it like last name plus first name, and it'll be like Smith John. So you can set all that over here. And if you want to put any restriction like delivery restriction, the sending message size, receiving message size, or from whom you should accept messages from, or from whom you should reject the messages from, or if you want to set any storage limits, or if you want to set any policies like sharing policies, sync policies. So you can set all here under Exchange tab. Okay, so now say for example you want to provide your link related attributes. So just go to link tab and then click LCS OCS server, or if you have Skype for Business configured, then you can click that as well. Okay, so you can configure the server name over here if you have LCS server in your domain, and you can even specify such attributes over here. But I don't have any link related attributes to be set for my user account. I'm just going to leave it blank. And now say if you want to set Office 365 related attributes for your user account. Okay, just go to Office 365 tab. So here you can specify whether you want to create the user account in Office 365 with directory sync enabled or without directory sync enabled. You can choose that. And if you want to set any license for your Office 365 user account, say Skype for Business or Exchange Online, so you can specify those licenses in your template. Okay, so this is going to be a one-time process. You don't have to do it again and again for every user account you create in your Active Directory. So once you're all set with your template, just hit Save Template. So with the help of templates, you can provide 360-degree provision for your user accounts. You can provide exchange related attributes, link related attributes, Office 365 related attributes, or you can even specify Google Apps related attributes if you have Google Apps linked with your Active Directory. Okay, let me create user accounts. Go to AD Management tab, click User Management, and then click Create Bulk Users. I'm going to choose my template, and then I'm going to import my CSV file. So now you can see the Exchange server, the mailbox database that I specified in my template to be displayed over here. And if you want to create user account, just hit next, choose your container, and then hit create users. So this is how you can provision AD, Exchange, Link, or Office 365 related attributes for your user accounts. Okay, let me move to the last topic for today. So how do I populate custom attributes for my user account? Okay, the first step is you need to configure the custom attribute that you have created in your Active Directory in ADManager Plus. Go to Admin tab, then click LDAP Attributes. So now say if you're an educational institution and you have group code for every course you provide, or say you want to specify the type of the employee like a permanent employee or a contract employee. So you have an attribute called employee type in your organization. So you can configure all such custom attributes here in Admin tab. Okay, let me add an attribute. Just click Add Attribute. say group code is my custom attribute. You can specify the data type, whether it is a string, a boolean, a large integer, date time, or if it is a multi-valued attribute. So you can specify the data type, and also you can specify whether it is associated with any group or with any management related operations. So once you're done choosing these things, just hit add. Okay, so now you can see here I have created a custom attribute group code. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify. So I'm creating user accounts for my sales department. So now specifically I'm going to create user accounts for my sales department. So these employees are going to be contract employees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify the employee type as contract by default in my template. So how do I do that? Let me go to AD Management tab. Let me click User Management and then User Creation Templates. Edit the template Sales Department. And then let me go to Custom Attributes. So now you can see here the custom attributes are populated. If you want to include the default value as contract employee, for your employee type, you can specify that here. Or if you want to include any newly added custom attribute to your template, then just click Enable Drag and Drop and then go to Custom Attributes in the left hand side. Now you can drag the group code attribute and put it over here in your template. So now say group code is my attribute. I can give it like some values and then hit done. So this is how you can populate custom attribute for your employees. Let me hit save template. Now say for example, whenever the group code or whenever the employee type is contract, you need to change another attribute. Now say for example, when the department is sales, you need to provide the description as sales department. Or if the department is HR, then you need to provide the description as HR department. So how do I configure such rules with the help of templates? Let me show you how. Just open your template and there you can see creation rules on the right side of the screen. Click creation rules. I'm going to create a new rule. I'm going to specify the condition. Now say if the department is sales, then the description is going to be sales department. Or you can even add another rule. Say if the city is say London, then the company name should be changed to a specific value. So this is how you can configure certain rules for your template. So whenever this particular condition is met, these values are replaced for your user account. Okay, let me hit save. Let me go to AD Management tab. user management, and create bulk users. Let me choose my template and then I'm going to import my CSV file. Okay, so now you can see that I have not provided the description in my template, but that I have specified the rule to be when the department is sales, then the description would be sales department. So this is how you can configure the rules for your template. Now say for example, I'm going to edit this user account. I'm going to change the department like design. You can perform all these addition over here. Okay. So now if you want to create this user account, just hit next and you can choose your container, and then at last you can hit create users if you want to create these user accounts. Okay, so this is how you can perform creating user accounts in bulk with help of ADManager Plus. So we have come to the end of the session. Let me give you a quick recap on what we have seen today. So I have shown you how you can create user accounts in bulk in a specific OU with desired group membership with the help of a template. So with template, in order to create a template, you need to go to AD Management tab, User Management, and then User Creation Templates. So create your template by clicking Create New Template. You can find on the right side of the screen. You can specify the related attributes, the specific OU membership, or if you want to make a specific attribute mandatory, you can configure it with the help of Enable Drag and Drop. Just click your particular field, make it mandatory. If you want to avoid duplication, then you can avoid duplication. You can perform all these with the help of templates. And if you want to standardize the naming format, you can always configure your own naming format for your organization. You can change the naming format option, say first name dot middle name dot last name, and so on. And if you want to provision, exchange, or link or Office 365 related attributes, you can provide that as well in your templates. And if you want to provide custom attribute for your user account, then you can provide all additional attributes in your templates. So this is how you can create user accounts with the help of templates using ADManager Plus. So I hope you find it useful whenever you happen to create user accounts in bulk. So in next week, we will be seeing on how you can make modification to these user accounts. Now say I need to change the naming format after I create the user account, or say I want to move the user account to another organizational unit. So we will be discussing all these in the next session, which will be held next Thursday at the same time. So I expect your participation in the next session as well. So for today's session, I will be sending you the slide and the task that I have completed here. So kindly have a look at your handouts. So I will be sharing the documents with you after the end of the session. You can make use of it. So if you have any queries, I'll be in session. You can ask me, you can put your questions through your chat window. I'll be replying to you as soon as possible. Or if you have any other specific query, you can always feel free to contact us at support@admanagerplus.com. So once again, I thank you all. Thank you so much for spending your time and joining us on this session. Have a good day.